Subscribe now before you forget, because what I'm about to share could completely change the way you look at the loose coins in your pocket, your old drawers, and even at small jars sitting in your home that you never paid attention to for years. Today we are talking about a coin that comes from South Africa, the 2 Rand coin from the year 2010. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary piece of currency, something you might ignore without a second thought. But in the world of coin collectors, things are never that simple. Sometimes the smallest details can turn something common into something extremely rare and highly valuable. Now imagine this for a moment. You're sitting at home, going through old belongings, maybe a wallet, maybe a tin box, maybe even inherited items from years ago. You find a coin that looks normal. You almost put it aside. But what if that coin is not normal at all? What if it carries a hidden value that most people never notice? That is exactly why coins like the 2 Rand 2010 from South Africa are getting attention from collectors around the world. This coin belongs to modern circulation, which is why many people assume it has no special value. But collectors know better. In numismatics, which is the study of coins and currency, even modern coins can become valuable depending on condition, rarity, minting variations, and demand in the collector market. And this is where things start to get interesting. The 2 Rand coin from 2010 was produced for everyday use, meaning millions of pieces were minted. But not every coin is treated equally by time. Some coins are damaged, some are lost, and some have unique mint characteristics that make them stand out. A perfectly preserved coin, especially one with uncirculated quality, can attract serious interest from collectors. Now here is something most people don't realize. Coins are not just valued by age. They are valued by scarcity in perfect condition. That means even a relatively recent coin can become highly desirable if it is found in mint state, without scratches, without wear, and with sharp details still visible as the day it was made. Collectors also look for errors. Small mistakes during the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. These errors can include misaligned strikes, unusual edge details, or variations in design that were not intended. While not every 2 Rand 2010 coin has such errors, the possibility is always what keeps collectors searching. Another important factor is demand. When more collectors start looking for a specific coin, its market value can increase over time. The 2 Rand coins from South Africa are part of a growing interest in African coinage, especially modern issues that are still accessible but may become harder to find in top condition as years pass. Now let's talk about condition in a way that really matters. If you have a 2 Rand 2010 coin that has been circulating in pockets, handled often, and shows clear signs of wear, its value is usually close to face value. But if that same coin is found in uncirculated condition, with strong details and original shine, collectors may see it differently. That is where the value can rise significantly depending on the market and buyer interest. Older viewers especially understand this idea very well. Many of you have seen how items from the past, which once seemed ordinary, later became highly valuable simply because time changed their rarity. Coins work in the same way. What looks normal today may not be easy to find tomorrow. There's also something psychological in coin collecting. It is not just about money. It is about history, preservation, and discovery. Holding a coin from 2010 might not feel like holding history at first, but in a few decades, it represents a specific moment in time, a snapshot of a country's economy and design style. Now, if you're someone who enjoys collecting or even just checking coins casually, this is where attention to detail becomes very important. Look closely at the edges, the sharpness of the engraving, the clarity of numbers, and the overall finish. Even small differences can sometimes separate an ordinary coin from a collectible one. Many people overlook coins simply because they assume modern means worthless in collector terms. But that assumption has proven wrong many times in the past. Collectors often pay attention to coins that others ignore, and that is where opportunity quietly exists. Think about how many coins pass through your hands in a lifetime. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Now, imagine that even one of them turns out to be special. That is the reason collectors never stop searching. They know value can hide in plain sight. The 2 Rand 2010 coin is not just a piece of metal. It is part of a system, part of circulation history, and part of a collector's growing interest in modern world coins. Whether it becomes valuable depends on condition, rarity factors, and demand, but the possibility alone is what keeps it relevant in discussions. For those who enjoy this kind of discovery, it is always wise to keep an eye on coins that seem ordinary, because in many cases, the most surprising finds come from the most unexpected places. A drawer, an old wallet, a box stored away for years. These are all places where forgotten value can quietly exist. Collectors often say that patience is just as important as knowledge. You may not find something valuable every day, but the moment you do, it changes everything. That is what makes coin hunting such a fascinating pursuit, especially for those who have lived long enough to understand the value of patience and observation. So if you ever come across a South African 2 Rand coin dated 2010, do not dismiss it immediately. Take a closer look. Study it. Compare it. Because sometimes what appears simple at first glance can carry a story and a value that is far from ordinary. Before we dive into today's treasure, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss the incredible stories we uncover together. You won't want to miss a single moment of what we have coming up today. Now, imagine this: a small, unassuming piece of metal resting quietly in your hand, one that, at first glance, seems like any other coin in your pocket or drawer. But this isn't just any coin. This is a coin with a story, a legacy, and a value that could make even the most seasoned collectors stop and stare. Today, we're talking about a very special coin from South Africa, the 2 Rand from 2004. Let's take a step back for a moment. Coins, for many of us, are more than just currency. They're history you can hold, fragments of time captured in metal. For a generation that remembers the sound of coins jingling in pockets, or the anticipation of flipping over a coin to call heads or tails, each piece carries a memory. And the 2 Rand coin from 2004 is no exception. The year 2004 may not seem particularly historic at first, but in the numismatic world, it holds secrets that many might overlook. South Africa, a country known for its rich culture, breathtaking landscapes, and deep history, has long been a source of remarkable coins, each telling a story of its people, its struggles, and its triumphs. This particular 2 Rand coin was minted in a time of transition and growth, a period when South Africa was solidifying its identity in the global economy while honoring its natural heritage and wildlife through art and design on its currency. Now, think about the design for a moment. It's simple, yet it captures something powerful: the elegance of South African coinage. The obverse, with the image of the national emblem or a familiar symbol, connects you instantly to the heart of South Africa. It's not just metal. It's a conversation piece, a link to a culture that is both resilient and proud. The reverse, usually showcasing iconic animals or historical motifs, tells a story in its own right. These details might seem small, but to collectors, each element matters because they speak to authenticity, craftsmanship, and rarity. What makes this coin truly remarkable, though, is not just its design or origin. It's the story of its scarcity and the intrigue surrounding it. You see, not all coins are made equal. Some are produced in vast quantities, never attracting the attention of collectors beyond their face value. Others, like this 2 Rand 2004, have a twist in their tail, a flaw, a limited mintage, or a design variation that makes them exceedingly rare. And it's those twists that turn ordinary coins into legends. For decades, collectors have hunted for coins that are more than their nominal value. And in that hunt, a legend was born. The 2 Rand 2004 became one of those pieces that every serious collector dreams of. It represents a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical significance. Some coins of this type were minted in limited numbers due to specific production constraints. Others were lost over time, melted down, or simply disappeared into private collections. What remains today is a whisper of the past, something tangible yet elusive, waiting for the right person to recognize its true worth. Imagine holding one of these coins in your hand. The weight, the texture, the fine details of the design, they're all reminders that this is not ordinary currency. It's a collectible, a piece of history. And for those who appreciate the nuances of coin collecting, it's priceless. And yet, there's more. For those who see beyond the metal, beyond the years stamped on its face, this coin tells a story about patience, insight, and the thrill of discovery. Many of us grew up in a time when coins weren't just money, they were treasures. Whether it was finding a rare penny in a pocket change jar or carefully saving commemorative coins from special occasions, there's a certain satisfaction in knowing that something so small can hold so much value. And that's exactly what makes the 2 Rand 2004 so fascinating. It's a piece of nostalgia, a tangible connection to a moment in time, and a potential game changer in the world of collecting. Collectors often talk about coins like they're old friends. And in many ways, they are. They carry the energy of the era they were created in, the hopes and dreams of the people who used them, and sometimes the whispers of fortune for those wise enough to hold on to them. The 2 Rand 2004 has become one of those legendary coins. Over the years, stories have circulated among collectors, numismatists, and enthusiasts about its unique characteristics and the incredible prices it can command. Now, let's talk about what really gets collectors' hearts racing: value. Not just the face value stamped on the coin, not just the history, but the staggering real-world worth that some of these rare coins have achieved. In the case of the 2 Rand 2004, it's a number that seems almost unbelievable at first glance. Many would dismiss it as a rumor, an exaggeration. But those in the know understand that for coins like this, the value isn't just theoretical. It's tangible, verified, and absolutely astonishing. The rarity, the condition, and the historical significance of this coin converge to create something extraordinary. It's the kind of coin that commands attention in auctions, sparks conversations among collectors, and makes seasoned numismatists double-check their assumptions. And here's the kicker. If you were lucky enough to own one of these coins in pristine condition, it could be worth an astonishing $27.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $27.2 million for a small coin that many might overlook if they saw it in their change. That it's a number that can make you pause and reflect. It's not just wealth. It's the realization that history, rarity, and a bit of luck can transform something ordinary into something legendary. It's also a reminder for all of us to pay attention to the details, to appreciate the treasures that might be hiding in plain sight, and to never underestimate the value of patience, knowledge, and careful observation. So, as you think about your own collections, your memories of coins from childhood, or even the coins sitting quietly in a drawer somewhere, remember this: sometimes history is hiding in the smallest places, waiting for the right eyes to discover it. The 2 Rand 2004 is not just a coin. It's a story, a challenge, and for a very lucky few, a life-changing treasure. Before we wrap up, I want you to imagine the excitement of holding this coin, knowing the story behind it, understanding its rarity, and realizing the magnitude of its worth. This isn't just a coin. It's a gateway to history, a conversation starter, and potentially a fortune beyond imagination. And that's why collectors and enthusiasts around the world continue to search for pieces like this, carefully preserving them, sharing their stories, and keeping the legacy alive for generations to come. So, if you're inspired by stories of hidden treasures, rare coins, and the thrill of discovery, make sure you stay connected. Hit that subscribe button, join the community of like-minded enthusiasts, and never miss a chance to uncover another piece of history. And remember, the next time you glance at a coin, it might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. Like the incredible 2 Rand 2004 from South Africa, valued at a jaw-dropping $27.2 million. Imagine holding a coin no larger than your thumb, yet carrying within it the whispers of history, identity, and prestige. This is not just any coin. This is the 2007 South African 2 Rand, a seemingly simple piece of metal that bears far more than just a face value. On one side, the national coat of arms rises in fine detail. The shield, the tusks, the secretary bird in flight, all composed in a delicate balance of symmetry and symbolism. Beneath it is inscribed, K-E-E-Zera K, a phrase from the Zam language meaning diverse people unite. Around the edges, the country's name appears in English and Tsonga, South Africa, Afrikaans. On the reverse, a majestic greater kudu stands poised, its horns spiraling skyward, the engraver's initials ALS tucked near the denomination 2 Rand. At first glance, it may look like an everyday circulating coin, and in fact, millions were minted. The standard version, struck in nickel-plated copper, weighs about 5.50 grams, has a diameter of 23 millimeters and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edges are milled and interrupted in 5 segments, giving it a distinctive feel between your fingers. This coin belongs to South Africa's third decimal series, introduced in 1989, designed to replace earlier currency systems and bring unity to the nation's coinage design. In 2007 alone, more than 32.58 million of these coins were struck. Munstuck.com +2 Online Coin Club +2, yet within that vast mintage lies a twist: proof strikes. A limited number of these coins were produced as proofs, coins struck with special care, polished planchets, and sharper detail. The proof versions exist in a handful of specimens, around 1,280, and are set aside for collectors. Online Coin Club +2 Munstuck.com +2 to hold one in your hand is to hold a rarity far beyond the circulation pieces. Why is this coin so compelling? Because its design, its symbols, and its era converge in a meaningful way. The coat of arms adopted in 2000 speaks to a post-apartheid identity, a nation redefined. The motto in the indigenous language evokes unity through diversity. The kudu, a native antelope, represents strength and grace. Each detail is carefully chosen, each line purposeful. The coin is more than currency. It is art, narrative, and memory struck in metal. Collectors may look first at scarcity, though the circulation version is quite common. Only a tiny fraction survive in uncirculated condition, and fewer still in perfect proof form. The proof piece from 2007 is not easily found, and when one emerges in the market, it draws immediate attention. Beyond scarcity, condition matters. Flaws, scratches, toning, and handling all erode value. A pristine proof, with mirror fields and frosted devices, commands the highest premiums. Next, provenance and certification elevate desirability. A coin certified by a reputed numismatic grading service, with a verifiable history, promises authenticity and trust. Contrary to what many believe, age is not the sole measure of a coin's worth. A coin minted in the 1800s but abundant in supply may be less prized than a modern proof struck in limited quantity. This 2007 coin sits at an intersection, modern yet historic, symbolic yet tangible. Its design reflects a transitional era in South Africa. Its proof rarity anchors its collectability. Its potential for long-term appreciation lies in the delicate balance between historical relevance and physical scarcity. Imagine introducing this coin to viewers, the smooth edge, the gleam of its surface, the two sides telling different stories. Speak of how ordinary coins pass unnoticed through pockets and registers, yet proof coins are treasures rarely seen. You might describe setting up a close-up shot. The coat of arms softly lit to reveal every line, the kudu's curves accentuated by shadow. You could narrate the symbolism behind the motto and how such inscriptions tie coinage to national identity. Then let the camera follow the edge, subtly showing the interrupted milling, the texture that separates this coin from everyday change. You might next weave in the journey from mint to collector, how the South African mint and Centurion oversaw production, how proof coins were segregated, how many survived decades of handling or neglect. Mention that in the marketplace today, Ordinary 2007 2 Rand coins trade at only a few dollars at most. Numismatic catalogs list their value between roughly $2 to $3 for circulated pieces and modestly higher for ones in near-mint condition. Foronum plus 2 Numista plus 2, but the proof piece stands in a different stratum entirely. Its rarity transforms it from everyday coinage into a numismatic trophy to make the coin compelling to your audience. Dwell not just on the metal and motif, but on the stories it carries. The nation's rebirth, the role of language and culture, the quiet pride of a design that reaches across divides. Invite your audience to imagine owning a piece of that story. Address the skeptical viewer. You might ask, why pay so much for one coin from 2007? The answer lies in what that coin represents. Not just minting, but meaning. Not just metal, but memory. Then lead them gently to the climax. Paint the prestige of owning a coin that few will ever see, let alone hold. A proof 2 Rand from 2007, preserved in pristine condition, certified, ready to be the centerpiece of a collection. Such a coin doesn't just sit in a drawer, it becomes a legacy. As interest in modern coins with deep symbolism grows, as collectors seek stories not just age, this coin has the potential to appreciate in stature and value.